Hi everyone, this is Never Too Late Cafe, the sponsor of Bloom Where You're Planted podcast. And I have a special guest with me today, and I'm going to have him introduce himself.
All right, well, thank you for having me on, Laura. I am Max Ross. I live in Chesapeake, Ohio, which is down at the very southern tip of Ohio, right across the river from Huntington, West Virginia.
So, and where are you from, Max, originally?
Originally, I grew up in Morrow County, Ohio, which is up in north central Ohio, pretty much in the cows and corn.
So tell us a little bit about what you currently do for work and your business. They're kind of two separate things, but kind of in the same world.
My business is Blue Lava Audio. We are a recording studio, among other things. We just did a live concert video. We've done a couple of those. We do obviously music production for local artists around here. And then I also am a freelance audio visual technician. And I do live sound, lighting, video, and I also do some like entertainment rigging stuff as well.
Wow.
So,
I knew.
Lots of things.
Yeah, and you also do equipment rentals. So what is Backline? What is
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. So Backline is when an artist, say they were to fly in from California and play a concert in Huntington, they don't fly with their drums, their guitar amps, sometimes even their guitars. So I provide stuff like that.
Oh, why is it called Backline?
That's a good question. Well,
Did I stump him? I'll have to look at that.
I would assume it's called Backline because it is the back line of the stage. Like it's this all the stuff that sits behind the artist when they're performing. So all your guitar amps, your bass rig, your drums.
So I would imagine that when there are concerts scheduled at different venues, that part of the contract is the equipment.
Yes.
I mean, very frequently, because not everyone's going to. I don't know if I had a very expensive guitar, if I would necessarily put it on a plane, you know.
Absolutely.
So I know that with the concerts, tell us a little bit about your concerts that you have done. They're virtual or live stream. Mm-hmm. How does that work?
Well, back in 2020, when everything kind of shut down, I was just trying to come up with ideas on how we could keep local arts and local music going and do stuff for local artists. And what I came up with was I have all this equipment sitting in the studio, and we can have virtual concerts live on Facebook, and people could still enjoy live music in quotes. But you know, it's not the same, but it was a little something that I figured we could do for artists and their audiences to kind of keep giving them a artistic outlet and kind of keep their audiences up.
So is there a way for someone, did they get a tip jar, a virtual tip jar or anything like that? I've heard of some doing that, but.
We did. I have a Venmo account for the company, and I'd always put it up there, and we'd split whatever came in. Sometimes it would be a lot, sometimes it'd be nothing. More often than not, it was nothing.
Well, I think since this is all new to everyone, they're not even aware that, you know, like there might be a cover charge at another place if they were to go to a pub or whatever, but, you know. So how do you get your musicians that have been on your concerts?
Well, during the pandemic, it was not difficult at all because nobody was doing anything. Now, I don't view them very often anymore. I've done, I think, 2 of them in the last 8 months. And that's because when stuff started to pick up and stuff opened up this past summer, everybody was busy playing. I was busy running production for those shows, and it was just a lot. And we weren't getting the audiences we were when there wasn't live music to watch. But it really wasn't too hard. I just started with some of my friends, and I had them give me a list of recommendations of their friends, and I just kind of spiderwebbed out from there. I didn't often get a band tell me no.
I would think not. Well, the pandemic certainly changed a lot of things. I wasn't for sure if it came about before the pandemic or not, because for me, I thought it was before that. But time is a very different thing right now. I don't know, a lot of people say that. Time is just very, you know, it's relative. So I know you have many talents, and I'm just going to kind of go backwards a little bit and say that I've worked with you before. I think it was in 15, maybe 14. It's been a while.
Can you believe how long it's been?
I know. And I can't believe that I don't remember. So it was for the film Dream Scenes, and you did an Indiegogo promo for me. And I have to say, I kind of laugh whenever I think of that, because my camera was not really set up to do what we were trying to do with it. And you were having to feed batteries every so often. And you had a lap full of batteries. I don't know if you remember that, but actually it makes me laugh because way back when, that's what I did. so, and then sound. You had a very challenging sound track that you were trying to do, and I appreciate you working so hard to make something that was going to go well in the film. So I appreciate that. I don't know if you remember, but there was a song track that was very different. And that took some work, I'm sure. So, and it worked out. So, and then you had your very talented wife sing that song in various versions, and I didn't even ask for that. And I appreciate that as well, because I would not have thought to do an instrumental and a high and a low and a medium. I guess it was just a world that was very different for me. And then when I got the sheet music with that song on it, it was concrete, tangible. It's a real song. And I just have to say thanks to you and Stephanie for doing that, because it was above and beyond what I was thinking would happen. So anyway, that was way back when. So your clients.
I think back then I was in my spare room in my little 2-bedroom apartment, I think. Right?
Yes.
That was after we moved away from Portsmouth, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you came back and worked here, and it all worked out. So that's great. So now with your business, how do clients find you for, your equipment, we talked about the concert part, but for equipment and your recording studio, how do clients go about finding you?
I think it's a mix of things. I think the biggest one is word of mouth. I've been working in the industry for a good 8-9 years around here now, so I know a lot of people. But also my website, I think, drives some. I get a few website requests a week. Just people Googling recording studio or equipment rental or whatever in this area, and that's what pops up. So the website's definitely been an advantage.
And thank goodness for Google, right? So, because this podcast is called Bloom Where You're Planted, and I always ask guests what that means to them, because it's different for everyone. So what does that quote or saying mean to you?
Well, when you told me that was the name of the podcast earlier, I thought that was perfect for kind of me and my business. We never planned on ending up here. We're from North Central Ohio. I ended up chasing her down to Portsmouth because that's where she went to school, and we were always planning on moving back up to Columbus. Obviously, 10 years later, things didn't turn out how we originally planned. But to me, bloom where you're planted, that sounds to me like, just figuring out your situation where you're at. And that's been a lot of what I've done and what I've had to do over the years is kind of learn how the market works around here, and learn how to just make it work. And I think that's important for any entrepreneurs, especially creative entrepreneurs.
So, words of wisdom for someone that wants to do what you do. You do a multiple of things, but
I would say network. The more people you know, the more people you're nice to, the more that will come back around for you. That's definitely been the biggest thing for me, especially in a smaller area with a smaller market. But that, and if you're wanting to do something in a creative field, I think it's important to find people who are like-minded, surround yourself with them, and that's also helpful.
those are great words because that gives you support. So, what's next for Max Ross? Do you have some plans in the future that you might share with us?
I think my next big pivot will be to try not to be on the road as much. I have two small kids, so I would like to make the studio portion of business grow and be what mainly supports us. So that's currently the goal. I say that as I have tour dates booked all summer. So we'll see.
Quick question just popped into my head. If someone said, could we do another virtual concert with you? Would you still be open to that idea?
Yeah. And I did one with some friends of mine a couple of weeks ago, actually up in a theater in Galion, Ohio, which is the town I grew up in.
Oh, interesting. Okay, because that might be a way for some people that are not really, maybe they're new at it. On the opposite end, not haven't performed a lot, it might give them a little more confidence. That just as a thought, is like, oh, let's do this and get it out there. And well, our time is about to close. So I want to thank you, Max, for coming on and sharing all of your wonderful talents with the world. And thank you for being a guest on Bloom Where You're Planted. And it's sponsored by Never Too Late Cafe. And I'm Laura Womack, your host. And I'm saying bye for now. So bye, Max.
All right. Bye, Laura. Thank you very much.